Welcome to the 19th week after Pentecost. It is Tuesday, October the 1st, 2024. This is the Manna at the Tap podcast, where we as a community actively seek the spiritual nourishment our souls crave. The daily lectionary readings we explore together is the manna designed to nurture our spiritual growth and provide the sustenance our souls need. I'm Gloria, your fellow traveler on this spiritual journey, and together we offer and receive insights and interpretations from these readings, enriching our spiritual lives. We are continuing our journey through selected chapters of the book of Esther. The story so far: King Xerxes honored the wicked Haman, a self-promoter who elevated himself to vice-regent, second only in command to the king. Queen Esther's guardian, Mordecai, was always on the palace grounds, listening for news about her welfare. When he learned of Haman's honor, and it was required that everyone pay homage to him by kneeling in his presence, Mordecai determined he would not do so. The servants asked him why, and he stated, "I'm a Jew." They told Haman, who then made a plan for not only Mordecai, but all the Jews in all the provinces on a particular day without first asking the king for permission to have all the Jews executed. When Mordecai heard the news, he responded by tearing his clothes, putting on sackcloth and ashes, and going through the city wailing with a loud and bitter cry. Word got back to Esther about what Mordecai was doing, and she sent him clothes which he refused to wear. He responded that she needed to consider how to use her position as queen to speak to the king to save her people. She responded by giving him instructions that all the Jews should fast for her. She and her maids would fast, and then she would go to the king, and if she perished, she perished. The story continues in the lectionary reading today, Esther chapter 5, verses 1 to 14. After 3 days of fasting with her maids, along with all the Jews in Susa fasting, Esther put on her royal dignity and royal robes, ready to make an uninvited visit to the king. His throne room opened onto an inner court, and Esther stood, positioning herself to catch his eye. The king was seated on the throne, and when Esther entered, she managed to catch his eye. When the king saw her standing there, he was pleased to see her and held out the gold scepter to her. Ah, a sigh of relief. She had won his favor, and it was now safe for her to approach him. The king quickly asked what she wanted, offering to give her up to half the kingdom. But she humbly requested that the king and Haman come to a banquet she had prepared in her home. The king immediately summons Haman to attend the banquet upon Esther's request. After eating his fill, the king again wanted to know her petition. The tension heightened as she requested the king and Haman come to another banquet she would prepare the next day at her home. Haman left the banquet happy and in good spirits until he saw Mordecai sitting at the king's gate in his usual spot. Mordecai continued his civil disobedience by refusing to honor Haman, who was enraged at him. In an uncharacteristic display of self-control, Haman just went home and called his fan club and his wife to listen to the litany of his achievements. Then he lamented that it did him no good when he saw Mordecai the Jew sitting at the king's gate. His fan club suggested that he should construct a gallows 80 feet high, roughly the height of a 6-story building, on which to hang Mordecai. It wasn't a gallows, but a huge pole or stake designed for impalement. They suggested he build a structure and tell the king he wanted to hang Mordecai on it. This suggestion delighted Haman, and he set up the pole. Now Haman is ready to go with the king to the banquet of Queen Esther in good spirits. There's nothing like anticipating an excellent impalement to whet Haman's appetite. The irony here is that Mordecai is already a condemned man. All Haman has to do is wait for the edict he planned to take effect. And Mordecai, along with all the rest of the Jews, would be out of his hair forever. The edict would not take effect for 1 year, and that seemed too long to wait when one has an ego as big as Haman. The story continues tomorrow.